One thing that is extremely clear, especially over the last 12 months, is that demand around XRP has increased significantly. Today, there's a lot more eyes on XRP than ever before. There's a lot more buyers around XRP today than ever before. And the hype as well around XRP has also really, I would say that it's exploded rapidly over the last couple months because, again, we just had XRP hit a crazy price level on the charts. A lot of XRP holders have said that it is a new all-time high because they don't believe the $3.84 all-time high from 2018 because you weren't able to buy or sell or trade XRP at those levels. It was a glitch overseas. But again, I still go off of that all-time high. However, the main thing to focus on is that XRP is a completely different altcoin, in my opinion, than the rest of the space. Because what we went through, everything around XRP over the last couple of years, I mean, it's just a very special altcoin. But today, again, there's still a lot of people that are saying that XRP sucks, that, XRP is not performing, that XRP is this, XRP is that. Oh, it's still trading at $3, or oh, it's sub $3 again. Guys, we are trading at $2.97 at this moment. I was buying XRP, and this just goes back like about 5 years ago. I was buying XRP at sub 30 and 20 cents. I think that XRP is doing just fine. Still up 400+% in the last 12 months. This is still an extremely bullish altcoin. And the best part about this is that alt season did not hit this space just yet. We are still brewing, consolidating. XRP over the last month looks like this. In the last year, we're just looking at this thing consolidating in a very similar pattern from when we hit the high back in January all the way through up until roughly July. The difference here is that we are constantly seeing major updates around XRP and the XRP community. Now, talking about updates, we just got a post from Ripple on the 19th showcasing BDAX. Now, this one's interesting because, number one, BDAX is one of only 4 licensed crypto custodians in South Korea. They are delivering secure institutional access to not just RLUSD, but also XRP and other tokenized assets with Ripple custody. If we're looking into the breakdown here from Ripple, we could see a few things. Number one, this is institutional clients, right? It's all focused on institutional players to execute on their digital asset strategies. The goal here is to advance the institutional digital asset custody market and drive technical innovation and commercial growth in APAC. The solution is leveraging Ripple custody. BDAX will offer institutional clients regulated access to digital assets, as well as full lifecycle support for tokenized real-world assets within South Korea's rapidly evolving crypto landscape. Ripple custody enables BDAX to lead in this new era of finance. And if we're looking at the impact here. So number one, first custodian in South Korea to enable institutions to transact and hold XRP Ledger native assets. Less than 1 month to launch an institutional digital custody platform. And then also first VASP licensed custodian in South Korea to integrate Ripple's institutional custody stack as well. And yes, this does include XRP. Yes, it includes RLUSD as well. And also when we think about BDAX, yes, it's the only institutional grade digital asset custody service in Korea, being recognized as South Korea's first certified and regulated custody solution at the institutional level is a testament to our unwavering drive towards innovation and growth. Again, when we think about these players like BDAX, they're tapping in now. This is the year where we are starting to see these big players getting tapped in a large way. Now, at the same exact time that we focus on this, right, we also think about the demand here, because obviously this is a very common thing. There are so many case studies on Ripple's website. Now, you might say, all right, well, this is just Ripple, right? Well, for the most part, yeah, this is all coming from Ripple. It's on Ripple's website. It's going to be showcasing Ripple's, customers, right? What they're using Ripple for. However, most of their customers, when it comes to custody, especially custody, like custody is a big one. They're not just launching custody solutions around traditional assets. It's all based on tokenized assets. Tokenization is going to be really, I would say this is going to be one of the biggest use cases for crypto. But when we go to tokenization on Ripple's website, it's all essentially an ad for XRP and XRPL. So when we think about Ripple custody, I do think that this is going to be huge for the XRP ledger and for XRP. This is going to increase demand rapidly just from what Ripple is doing with a lot of these customers. Now, that's just one area of demand. Over the last couple weeks, what have we been focused on? We have been focused on ETFs, like for an example, the Rex Osprey XRP ETF, which we did talk about, right? It hit $24 million in volume. It's way more than, a lot of these individuals would have thought. And by the way, it broke records. It broke the highest record for 2025 for a one-day performance. That's how much demand there is for ETF products when it comes to XRP. I bring this up because of this announcement as well, going back to the beginning of the month. This is from Brad Garlinghouse. It's with CME Group. Per CME Group data, XRP futures contracts were the fastest ever, just over 3 months to hit 1 billion in open interest. Again, another huge insight on just the demand around XRP. So now we have from two players. We have from an ETF product that just launched, a spot ETF. This is very important to focus on. A spot ETF launching, breaking records, on top of futures contracts also hitting records, which also led to CME Group expanding options around XRP as well. This got announced on the 17th. CME Group is aware of how much demand there is for XRP because they just celebrated this back in the beginning of the month. Now they're launching even more products because they are looking at this and saying, well, you know what? It's been extremely successful. We could obviously see the demand. Let's launch more products. Why is this interesting? Well, because we think about the ETFs. We know that there's so many ETF filings with the SEC around XRP. And this is because now, right, is the perfect time to launch an ETF, number one. Number two, they realized the demand around XRP. They realized this before the demand was even there, or at least the data was. Now, with data from, for example, the Rex XRP ETF, this is clearly confirming how much demand is there for XRP spot ETFs. Now, every single major asset management company or ETF issuer is looking at this saying, we need an XRP ETF, just like CME Group is looking at the previous performance and saying, we need more products here around XRP, which is why they are now launching even more options for XRP. And then I lead us into the next big part of this video, and that's Coinbase. Coinbase on September 19th put out a post saying in just 1 month, Solana and XRP perpetual style futures have scaled exponentially. 1.9 billion plus in notional volume, 1.6 million plus contracts traded, 24/7 trading, deep liquidity, alternative exposure, and we're just getting started. Again, we are watching as the demand is there. It's showing, right? We can clearly see it just from data alone. Yeah, it's very simple to look at the price chart and say, well, I wonder if there's demand for XRP. Let's look at the all-time chart. Oh yeah, demand's definitely there. It's very, simple to do that, right? It's very simple to look at this chart and say, yeah, there's a lot of demand for XRP. It's the number one reason why XRP is the number 3 largest crypto asset. It's also the same reason why, going back to these moves back here, right? We were seeing over $200+ billion in volume. That's right, 200+ billion, 300+ billion volume around XRP in just one single month. The demand was there. But today, we can clearly see that the demand is still there, especially as we look at supply. This was also a huge thing going back just a couple of days ago, where a lot of people were looking at the supply of XRP on Coinbase. Yes, Coinbase, the same, exchange that just celebrated these perpetual style futures, which again, these are futures contracts. CME Group is also based around futures contracts. So XRP futures are absolutely killing it, which tells us that spot-based, contracts will 100% kill it as well. But we have here that the supply of XRP on Coinbase has collapsed by 90% as whales move tokens off exchanges. With less liquidity, a super squeeze could be brewing. Analysts eye a $10 XRP if momentum holds. Now listen, I don't care about price predictions. I don't care to tell you that XRP is going to go to X, Y, and Z this year. We've talked about it on multiple occasions. The levels that I'm looking at, I'm still looking at them. The main thing to focus on here is that demand is rising so much around XRP. This will lead to an eventual squeeze. It's very simple to look at. It's very simple to understand. I mean, just look at the supply on Coinbase from June to now. We have dropped from 970 million XRP on Coinbase to 99 million. Clearly showing the demand around XRP. Now, what's crazy about this is we've talked about supply shocks. I know that from a retail perspective, a supply shock for XRP seems like a, just clickbait idea. But guess what? I know exactly what you're thinking about. Oh, 99.98 billion total supply around XRP, circulating supply 59, almost 60 billion. There's absolutely no way that XRP can experience a supply shock. But think about this logically real quick for a second. We have retail buying XRP. We have ETF products coming from Wall Street that will also impact XRP, because any spot-based ETF directly impacts the spot value and demand of the underlying asset. So now you have retail buying XRP just around the crypto ecosystem, retail buying XRP through the Wall Street ecosystem, and then you mix in institutional buying of XRP on top of companies, enterprises wanting to launch XRP treasury companies as well, which allows them to allocate a certain amount of XRP to their portfolio. And then on top of that, we think about the utility side of XRP. So XRP being utilized in a large way around DeFi protocols, around payments, around stablecoins, XYZ. All of this now starts to look as if XRP, no matter what the supply number is, if the demand is there and the supply continues to shrink, yes, XRP will 100% experience a supply shock. That is not a made up narrative. That's not a clickbait narrative. It's not a narrative that is unheard of. It's not unlikely to see. We have witnessed this in the past as well. Today, the environment around XRP is so interesting because over the last couple, weeks, we've been starting to see a nice little uptrend form on XRP. However, we haven't witnessed a big impulsive move since going back to July. The biggest thing to focus on right now is that we're still in this area where, most of the market is just chopping. We're still consolidating. We're waiting for something to happen. even when it comes to altcoin season and the index around altcoin season, we might look at this and say, oh, well, we're at 77 yesterday, we're at 78. You know, I think that we just experienced alt season. XRP barely moved. But when we think about this logically, this thing has been moving to the upside to really kind of confirm altcoin season. But this is because we have been seeing fresh launches. When we think about these fresh launches, we go to the news side, we could see all of these fresh launches trending. Most of these fresh launches, like Avantis, for an example, or even just going down the list, like Aster's also another fresh launch. Guys, these things have gone insane over the last couple weeks, and this is providing us with more and more dominance in the altcoin market. So it's giving us this falsified idea that, oh, altcoin season is hitting right now. That means that we have a very limited amount of time for XRP and most of the space to run, right? No, absolutely not. We have yet to see altcoin season hit in a big way, which is why when I look at XRP today trading just under $3, I laugh at anyone saying, oh yeah, XRP is doing essentially nothing. XRP is boring. XRP is just bearish. Guys, we're still hovering right around those highs going all the way back to, you know, January, and we're still hovering around almost $3. I would not be bearish on XRP at this point. And if you are, well, you're in for a rude awakening. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely like, subscribe, so notifications on because I'm a free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this is Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.